Hi, my friend. How are you? My name is Alvaro Yala. I'm from Colombia, and today here, actually, I am into my car. I wanted to play basketball, but I couldn't because it was rain. So unfortunately, I couldn't play basketball today. But I'm here because I would like to tell you about something really important. I am a parent. I am a parent of two beautiful children. My daughter, she's 12 years old, and my son, he's 8 years old. I would like to tell you about the way how, first of all, I was able to learn English, and then the way how I guide my kids, my children, in order that they became fluent speaker. Well, my daughter, she's fluent in English, but my son, um, he's working on this because obviously I wanted, he wanted, and every members of my family wanted that he became fluent in English as well. So yeah, but the main reason is I would like to tell you why it's possible that your children became fluent speaker in English. The same way how my family is doing. How I did, how my daughter did, and I believe that my son is going to be able to get it. At the end of this year. So, first of all, as I said, my name is Alvaro Yala. I'm from Colombia. I am 42 years old. I'm here because, yeah, I would like to share my own experience about how I did. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, guys. Um, as I said, I am 42 years old. Um, I always wanted to learn English. When I was younger, I wanted to become a fluent speaker in English. So I remember that I asked my parents that to pay me for expensive course, English course, because I wanted to learn English. But at that time, I had no idea what's mean to learn a new language. You know, I wanted to speak because when I was watching videos or not videos because at that age um, when you watch TV, the only way how you can to watch English videos, it was not exactly looking for YouTube or Instagram, Facebook, because at that time they were in social media. But at the time we have TV, so I want to watch NBA games. Obviously, I realized that the players, basketball NBA players, they speak English, So it was one of the reason why I wanted to learn English, So I asked my parents, and they paid me a expensive course, not just for me, my brothers as well. We were three, you know. So I started to learn English. I started to attending to the classes, and after 1 or 2 years, despite that, I tried to attend um, the classes, as much possible because at that time I was studying in the university. I am engineer, so I was studying mechatronic engineer at that time. Because I was busy or because I was a lazy person, I didn't want to attend the college classes sometimes. So, I tried to do it, but it's like I remember that I was not going every single class, despite of I have to go, I think 2 or 3 times per week, to the classes. Maybe I attend 2 classes or maybe one classes per week. So that is the first reason why today here to tell you that the reason why is so impossible, is almost impossible that you learn a new language and when you attend to the classes in the English school is because you need attendance to the English school or learning English at least 1 hour per day, At that time I was studying just 2 hours per week, So the time that I spent studying or attending to the classes, it was not enough. So I remember that I tried to pay attention to the class. I tried to learn a lot of things. I remember that that time I had a book. I tried to read. I tried to learn as much as I can, guys. But It was not hard. I believe that after 1 year or 2 years, I realized that it didn't work for me. So I started to get bored with the classes. Yeah, I stopped to attend to them. So unfortunately, I was not able to learn. So then, as for a while, I was trying to learn by my own, but not by the consistency that I needed. So then, that I remember that when I was in the college studying, I tried to learn again, but I was not the methods, I was not the strategies to follow something. So you know, I just lose my time trying to learn English at that time as well. But let me tell you what I did when the pandemic started. You know, and when the pandemic started, I decided. I had the fervent desire. I knew that um, I have to stay at home for a long time. So I knew that at that time I was going to have the time to focus on studying. So I decided to learn English, and I remember that I wrote, something on my notebook saying that yes, I definitely I was able to learn English at that time. So I wrote, I think, um, I started to learn English by my own. At that time, I remember that I started to looking for videos on YouTube about how to learn of the proper way a new language, English. And fortunately, at that time, I was able to learn YouTube videos, and that YouTube videos let me teach me how to learn English in the proper way. So I remember that the first video that I watched was English teacher in YouTube, English teacher who taught me, a basic thing in English. I started to learn basic thing. How the way how you need to conjugate the verbs in present, on past. These kinds of things. Then I was advances on my English level, and at that time, I was able to learn more and more and more about grammatical things. But what I'm saying is that the way how I did was listening videos on YouTube, and I spent a lot of time watching videos on YouTube. So at that time, I realized that okay, my English is not bad absolutely. I believe that I improving. But at certain point, I didn't realize I was not able to maintain a conversation with someone. So at that time, I realized that I needed to do something else, in order to improve my English, or to boost my English to the next level. So what I did was to focus on speaking. So I started to focus on speaking, and I remember that I started to repeat as much as I can. I remember that when I was watching a YouTube video, I started to repeat what the character said. So it was a little bit comfortable because when you record your own voice, you realize that your voice doesn't sound really well. Actually, it sounds terrible. Yeah, it was the situation that I feel that my voice was not really good. I feel a little bit embarrassing, but I remember that it cost me a lot because my pronunciation at that time was terrible. Right now it's really not really amazing, but at least it's something really good. But at the time my voice was terrible. Um, when I record my voice, then I have the time to listen my own voice. Oh my God, it looks like, oh my God, I wanted to listen to myself because I sound really terrible. But I started to record my own voice 3 minutes per day. I remember that I started just recording a video, or my own voice, recording my own voice just 1 minute per day. Then I started to increase to 3 minutes, then 5 minutes. I remember that one time I was able to record my own voice by, I think that 75 minutes. So it was a long time that I spend just speaking. I think that what was made the complex different. I think that English makes different kinds of states or phrases that you need to get through. Yeah, but definitely it takes a long time to become really fluent in a new language because first of all, if you are Spanish native speaker, I am a Spanish native speaker because I'm from Colombia. So when you are a Spanish native speaker, the English and the words in English and the pronunciation is completely different. That's Spanish language, that how you sound in Spanish. So I always say to the learners that when you are learning English, if you learn of the wrong way, you need to learn English three times. The first time you are able to read a word, and you go and try to learn the meaning of the word. So you are learning the word for one time. Then okay, you know how to read the book, the word. As you see the word in a book, you are able to understand the meaning of the word. Okay, but when you listen the word, you know you are not able to understand the word because the way how English word sound is completely different how you write or how you read the word. So basically, you need to learn this word again. It's the same word, but the way how this word sound is completely different that how you read the word. So you need to learn this new word once time more. So you are learning the same word two times. And then you realize that okay, you understand the word. If you listen the word, you are able to understand. But in the future, when you need to say the word, oh my God, I can't remember how to say. I know that it sounds like this, but when you try to say it, you are not able to say it. So now you need to learn to pronounce the word. So you need to learn the same word three times. But the reason is this because you are learning English the wrong way. And people, we don't realize of this we realize of this when we acquire a certain English level. Actually, when I'm speaking about this particularly, things, the learners they say, "Oh my God, you're right. It's the same." Yeah, okay. I didn't keep in mind of this, but yeah, you're right. So I believe that we don't realize of this until that we are really advanced in this level. So yeah, but that is true, guys. You need to learn with the same word three times, and that is unfortunately because they are not productive, they are not effective. So that is the reason why some persons spend a lot of time working on this and doing this kinds of thing. So yes, I did the same. So I'm not going to say that I did by of the right way since the beginning because it was not true. I spent a lot of time just trying to learn English. But the reason is this because I there is the wrong way. I realized this about the important thing is when it comes to learning language is listening and speaking. I realized this later, but when I realized this, I wanted, and that is the reason why I'm here parent because I would like to tell you that when I realized this, I wanted to guide my entire family, my children, in order that they became fluent speaker, but not doing what I did, because I suffered a lot. I spent a lot of time trying to become a fluent speaker, but I wanted that my children, that they didn't do the same. Yeah, I didn't want that they spend a lot of time studying English. So I tried to guide them in order that they did learn English, but a different way. They were more productive, more effective. So I took my daughter and I implement this new methodology or this new strategy with her. And the strategy is so simple. I order her that watch YouTube videos you know, videos that she really enjoyed to watch, but in English. You know, that my only condition was that they were she watched YouTube videos, but in English. You know, so yeah, she obeys me because she was really obedient student or daughter, so she started to watch YouTube videos in English, of course. Um, yeah, she started to acquire the language just listening to videos, you know. And I think that later that 3 months or 4 months, I started to watch. I started to see um, their her advance. You know, so it was really amazing to me because um, I realized that she was able to understand uh, of a quickly way words, different kinds or words that she watched on TV. So it was so amazing to me realize of this, you know. And with the pass of the time, she started to, I remember that I asked her that, okay, Natalie, that is her name. I started to tell to her, okay, the important thing is listening, but you need to focus as well on speaking. So try to speak as much as I can. Try to repeat what you hear. Um, and at that point, it was not easy because she really enjoyed to watch video, but she she didn't like or she's you know um she's not really interested to speak so much. I believe that when you are teenagers or when you are a speaker or when you are a student, you don't spend a lot of time just repeating or speaking. You prefer to listen, and the same as me. But I know I'm more aware that my daughter, so I know the importance to speak as much as I can. But despite of that, every single time that I scared her to speak or to say something. Her pronunciation was amazing, better than mine. I believe that the children have these kinds or they learn faster than us. And when my daughter listened a new word, she was able to retain that sound in her mind. And when she need to use that new word in a phrase, she was completely amazing, and like she was able, to learn this. Yeah, it was completely amazing the way how she expressed herself. So she finally got fluency after 3 years. She was able to do that, and let me tell you that it was completely right. It was completely true, guys. I'm not saying that my daughter learned English in just 1 year or 6 months. I believe that after 2 years she was able to communicate effectively with me. But I believe that she really became a fluent speaker in 3 years. So at that time, what she did was she watched videos on YouTube at least 1 hour per day during these 3 years. At least 1 hour per day. I remember that some days, in the first year, she watched videos one hour per day. So I think that 1 hour per day is the minimum amount of time that someone needs in order to get the fluency. And I'm saying that because yeah, it's true. You came to learn a new language in just 1 year is not easy. I believe that yes, I think that it's possible to learn a new language, but you need to spend at least 1 hour per day. Children need to spend at least 1 hour per day um, listen YouTube videos or listen something that they really enjoy to do, but in English. So what you need to do as a parent, you need to guide them. You need to order them to do that. You are the parent, you are the father, you are the mother, so you are the one who came to do that. It's not anyone else because you are who you are a parent. You really need that your kids became a fluent speaker in another language. So guys, let me tell you a little bit what I did. Um, when my daughter was able to speak English fluently way English. I ordered her that if she wanted to start to learn a new language. So right now she is learning a new language, which is Portuguese language. She's working on this. It's amazing way. I believe that she's not she's not fluent still, but I think that in a couple of months she's going to be able to communicate effectively with people abroad. So my son is a different story. I think that not every teenagers or not every kid works of the same way, and some guys they are more willing to learn a new language, and it's like they work better for ones than others, So for my son, it's not the same. He's good as English as well, but he's not like my daughter because my daughter is completely amazing, But my son is in the process, and he's working so well, and he he watched um videos in English, just in English, 1 hour. So I think that it's completely possible that my son became fluent in English, at the end of this year. Right now, we are on September, so I really consider that at the end of the year, my son is going to be able to become a fluent speaker in English as well. So she's just 8 years old, so I don't have any kinds of worry. And the end, he's going to be able to get it. So, parent, that is the my history where I wanted to tell you. I really hope that this this communication, this video serves to you in something. I believe that you as a parent have the responsibility to you have the duty to try to guide your children as much as you can, because I believe that it's an entire process, but if you really focus on them, if you really wanted that they became fluent speaker in English, it's completely possible, and it's not easy. You need to spend a lot of money, of time, and expenses courses that I believe that it's not working the wrong way. If you had a favorite desire, your kids really wanted to learn English, and if you really wanted that your kids became fluent speaker in whatever language that they want to learn, I believe this is possible. I believe the only thing that you need to do is guide her. Actually, I read a book about this. My book called it the Raising Fluent Speakers. Um, Raising Fluent Speaker. That's the name. That's the name is the book. Um, yeah. I in this book I try to I told this history about more specific. I try to guide the parents step by step about the way how I was able to guide my children in order that I became fluent speaker in English. But I think I really consider that the same thing for whatever language that you want to learn. It works for Portuguese, for French, to Arabic, whatever language that you want to learn. I believe that is completely possible to learn. So, if you are parents, if you really wanted that your children became a fluent speaker in English, and don't pay expensive school for them. If you have enough money, you can to do that. But I highly recommend you anyone spend all of his time working, because focus on this thing. I believe that is completely possible, and that your kids became fluent speaker attending to the classes, but it lights maybe from 100 students that started in the studies of English um, in expensive course. I believe that just 3 or 4 of them, and they were able to learn English, at the end of the year and the end of 2 years. I believe that um, it requires commitment, it requires persistence and discipline, and you are the parent, are the only one who can to give them this discipline. If you're there your children to learn English for 1 hour per day, that is what you have to do. You need to be consistent, that you need to be um, warned that you or there's you're trying to do that. You need to to be present, or you need to not present, because at that time when my children were watching videos, I I I didn't enter to the room to watch every minute about what they were watching. I trust them, but I think that and them, it's like you need to guide them, but is that you don't need to be a teacher, you need to be a tutor. The only thing that you need to do is order them, and then you need um, to find a strategy in order that, and at the end of the day, you need to ask them, okay, I will dare to you watch YouTube videos in English. Do you do it? Do you need to ask them that is they did it, because they need to know that you are, you are focused on this, that you are um, that, and your kids need to do, to know that you are with them, because if you're them something to them, but they realize that you are not aware of this, so they are going to lose the um you know the the they're going to lose the motivation, so yeah. It was all, I am a little bit tired. It's okay that I'm not getting used to record these kinds of videos. I think that's it last more than 20 minutes. So yeah, and yeah, parents. I really hope that this video really helped you with your kids, and that is that is what I want to tell you and to share to you. Bye. Take care.